is Light and Bone Tarot, and you are here allowing me to read for you for what you need to know about this connection. I'm doing things a little differently for anyone who's watched this in the past. I now have these crystal cards. So yes, we have 4 beautiful crystal cards here, and I'm going to kind of zoom in on them ever so slightly. Okay, so we have black kyanite, unakite, turquoise, and tourmalinated quartz. So I'm going to try to zoom in on these just a little bit more here. I don't know how this is working out. But yes, these are the 4 cards that we will be focused on today. And you're just going to take a look at them, pick the one that resonates the most with you, and this is going to be your special reading. So thank you so much for your time and patience through that. I know that was a bit irritating. Okay, yeah, so let's get into your reading. Thank you again so much. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and you are allowing me to read for you. We are doing a reading for what you need to know about this connection. So yes, what do you need to know about this connection? We're going to get right into it. You picked black kyanite. It's the title here is Set Strong Boundaries, whatever that means, I'm not sure. But yes, I just think this looks like a kale chip, which I hope doesn't take away from its beauty, because I'm sure in real life this is a very stunning little piece of rock. But okay, we're going to put that over here. This was brought about so we could figure out just what is going on with you and your connection. So I'm going to put down some oracle cards and just move things around. I want to get a picture of, I just want to see your guys' connection. So I'm going to do 3 oracle cards, which I actually don't think I've ever done before. And we're just going to build some stuff down here. I'm going to put some tarot here. And yeah, I want to see your connection, because I want to know, we could need to know something like that you have an engagement coming up, or that it just isn't the right connection. Okay. I'm looking at your oracle cards, which can be very cheesy and over the top. This is a warning. But my readings are generally dark and heavy, so, okay. Move beyond intention to belief. Okay, great. What does your soul say, and your past supports your future? As a snapshot up here, what to know about your connection. To me, there's a lot about kind of like your thoughts, maybe taking you down like a rabbit hole, which you probably have done in the past. Move beyond intention to belief. So maybe just wanting something and, trying to manifest it isn't enough. You actually have to believe it. You have to believe that you guys are this great couple, or that they're as good to you as you want them to be, and vice versa. So I just think that your mind, I get the feeling that you're on a spiral here, that your mind's running away in all sorts of different directions, and which would make me think that you've maybe had some rough relationships in the past, things haven't worked out the way you wanted, and that you're taking that kind of stress or negativity into this relationship. And maybe you have just cause to, maybe you don't, I'm not sure. But I would say that you probably give your partner some grief about things that might be undeserved. But a little bit more, what does your soul say? 7 of Pentacles under this card. I feel like for you, I don't know, this to me is a card of like, just believe, like just take the very basic steps to invest something, to start that investment, that confidence, that belief. This is a card to me of, it's like, it starts a routine. It starts this like basic practice of really consciously trying to do things right. And in a relationship, this would be like whenever there's that little like nagging bit of doubt or something, be tucking that away and finding a positive. But yeah, making an effort to make things better. And I think you probably need to do a little bit more of that. Okay. And then Seven of Wands. This is like, you can call this standing your ground. This is a funny card to me. It's a card I almost don't completely understand. I understand the card that comes before it and the card that comes after it. But this is to imply that there's been a little bit of a struggle, that things might be a little heavy. They might require you to, there's been tension. And as a result of that tension, there's even more tension. And I don't think you've crossed over into this, like, everything's great, everything's wonderful dynamic, which does make me think that, and this, next to the past supports your future, I do think you are carrying some negative vibes into this relationship. And we're just gonna have to get into, is it warranted? Is it, the question isn't, is this relationship toxic? It's just something you need to know about your connection. So we will get there. But move beyond intention to belief. So if you really want this to be your person, if you really want this to be a long-term, very well-played, positive relationship, I think that you actually are the one that has the changes to make. That's kind of what I'm taking away from this so far, that you really are the one that has the work to do, not necessarily your partner. I'm sure your partner does as well, but they aren't being called out to me right now. It's you. And the Justice card, this would imply that you have this big emphasis on, like, fairness, what's fair, what's right. This karmic kind of implication to everything that's done. And I don't know that there's a reason for you to be so judicious with this person. I don't know that you need to, like, put the gavel down quite as hard as you are. There might be, if you don't take a step back or look around, not at your previous relationships, but at this one, it might be a really nice relationship, but I do feel like you're bringing a lot of baggage into that. And let's see, because I guess that is, like, right now, that would be my main takeaway, that you are bringing baggage to this relationship. And possibly you would be here to know that could harm your connection. So your past supports your future. I'm going to get a couple of cards on this. And so the 10 of Wands and the 6 of Wands they don't really go together. The 10 of Wands is like, it's a burden that you've carried. However, it's the end of the cycle. And I would take this as a warning card. Like, you kind of need to stop maybe allowing things to get to you as much as they are. No relationship is perfect. There are always things in a relationship that are troublesome, stressful. There just always are, and it's relative. It doesn't mean that if something's troublesome, your partner just cheated on you. It could mean the tiniest thing, but it's just, however it's troubling to you for whatever reason, it's relative to your relationship. So I think you're bringing in burdens from the past and you're placing them currently. I just don't think it's just not serving your connection. And as a result of that, I think you're failing to see what's really good in your partner. I think there's things that you should be recognizing in him or them, pointing out, bringing to life. And I don't think you're doing this. You're too busy focused on what is lacking and not necessarily what's there. If you guys are together, this is probably weighing heavily. And there does become a point where someone who stays in this on both parts, the person who can't get over the past, has the baggage, is bringing it into their current situation, and then the person who's taking all this baggage on, it doesn't work for a very good connection. So yeah, I think you guys would really have to move past this, and it looks like it's your work to do. So move beyond intention to belief. Like, yeah, just saying you want to be with the right person, well, do you believe in that dynamic? Are you confident enough to be in that dynamic? And let's just get a little bit about you and just about that situation. So for the Seven of Swords and the Daughter of Pentacles, it's like you can't trust. I think you have massive trust issues. And this is just a little bit of a card of deceit, but it's like an intentional deceit. You know you can't trust. You know you're sleeping with one eye open. You know that you probably have no right really doing this in this way, in this relationship, and yet you continue to do it. And I don't mean to harp on you so much, but these really are just the cards that are coming up. And there will be a way to fix this if you want to, really. But I do want you to know, Spirit wants you to know, you asked, what do you need to know about your connection? I think you need to know that you've really got to change how you treat this person. You really have to see them for their own individual, spirit and energy. They are their own person. They're not your past. They're not your history with someone else. Those memories, those are different. This is someone totally different. And I don't know that they've given you any real reason to be compared so heavily, or to be brought with such fear and insecurity from you projected onto them. And the Daughter of Pentacles here, I like this card because it is, we have the Son of Pentacles. This is just one more sort of step in maturity below that. I do think, okay, if I look at this, then I think you want the pinnacle of the pentacles, right? I think you want the home, the foundation. You want something secure. I really think you want a relationship. I think you are ready for one. You just have to drop past thoughts. And if you could just start to take those very beginning steps of laying that foundation with this person, putting in the trust, putting in just the little bit of work that it would take on your part to start to plant those seeds of trust. This is tricky because I am repeating so much of the same message, but I keep getting it with every card I put down. I get more of that. So I will try to come up with a more creative way to describe this. But I just think if you start at the very beginning, almost start over and recommunicate what you want, and then the very simple, most basic way you'll go about achieving that is I think what you need to do. It's almost like you have to start over. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I believe if your partner's in this with you thus far, I think they would go as far as you wanted to go, as long as you showed some progression and some change and some positivity, and just cut them a little slack. And, the more I see this Justice card, I really do think that there's a lot of weight, a lot of sternness and yeah, just almost ultimatum type speak from you that in the beginning might have been easier to navigate or tolerate, but as you guys get more serious and you should be getting to new places in your relationship and your connection, I just think that this isn't serving anyone. But you're not, you're not a bad person. You're not, it's probably out of your control. You're just doing what feels right. But you're watching this reading to know that this is what you need to know about your connection. You're here so that you can get some answers and some insight. And I really think that can be a helpful message, even though I can't tell you how. It's reconfirming the feelings you already have. And I'm going to find out how this person feels about you, because I think it's going to be very positive, and it's just going to give you the hope to, or the confidence to start to change. So yeah, let's see how they really feel about you. Okay. So we have almost a whole roll. So I just pulled over 3 Pentacles cards, which tells me that to to me, it's like it makes sense that they want something with you. This isn't there. I'm sure you guys have passion. I'm sure there's a lot of like creative energy between you guys, all the things that like, when you think of a lover, when you think of those things. But what I'm getting from the cards is that there is potential to make a real life together, to start something, to establish something, to build a home life together, create this base together, set roots. Because these 3 Pentacle cards that I just put down, and this is like basically, this is the starting of a growth. These 3 of Pentacles, it's working together to build something. I think your partner sees you as great potential for really starting probably a life together, and taking a relationship to those next steps. I think that they can see the light at the end of the tunnel with you. I think they know that it is worth the investment, that the potential is there, especially if you do start to come into this Daughter of Pentacles energy where you become just more willing to grow and give and change, just drop some of the older baggage and really start to come into this confidence that you have this confidence in you. You aren't a generally insecure person. This is just one part of your life where things are a little bit out of control for you, even though you have what looks like a very secure connection, a secured partner, and someone who I really think would take on a lot with you and would start like laying the groundwork for, just start the building, start the planning right here, in this 3 of Pentacles. I do think they see this as a juggling act right now. I think that they aren't sure where they stand with you, aren't sure if they can handle it, don't know if they want to even be in it right now. I definitely think they're questioning things. But you, with just, I think, the right conversation, just acknowledging this, I absolutely think you could turn that around and you guys could start working on something. So if I stop the reading right here and we just answer the question, what you need to know about this connection, you need to know that it really can go places. And by go places, I mean, I see you guys building a life together. I see you guys coming together, like physically, mentally, really connecting, making your lives merge, starting a family, buying a house together, getting married, paying taxes together, whatever it is. This is where I see this relationship headed, if you can leave your past behind. I mean, the top line, the introduction to this was so much about like not repeating, not letting history repeat itself. And, for what does your soul say? Like, if this really makes you happy, if you are happy on this like cellular level in this relationship, then acknowledge that, like speak on that, let your partner know that. I think they need to know more about what you see positive in this relationship, where you would like to see it go, a little bit more about what you want from them versus what you don't want from them. Yeah, so that's what I think you need to know about this connection. I think it has tremendous potential. I think you're probably very much loved and cared for. And I do think this is someone who is able and willing to commit. That is the vibe I'm getting off of this. So yeah, if you can just calm yourself down a little bit, take on a new approach, trust. I think you really need to start trusting. And you just need to stop being so intense. Like, your partner right now isn't perfect. You're not perfect. People do make mistakes. It doesn't mean they're your previous partner, or, it doesn't mean they're every bad guy out there or girl out there. So, yeah, I hope this helps. I hope you enjoyed this. If this spoke to you, if the final message here really did speak to you, then please let me know. I would love to hear about it, because I think you are here for a reason. So again, goodbye. Thank you. And like, comment, subscribe. It would help me so much. All right. Goodbye. Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot, and you are here letting me read for you for what you need to know about this connection. Yes, I am going to jump right into this. It's a great topic. It just, it can take a little while to really get to where we're going with this. But yes, once we get there, there's a very clear message. And at least I can say that for the last reading. So yes, bear with me through the first few minutes. This is Unakite, beautiful stone. And the message here is live in the now, which would have been a perfect message for the last reading. But I have a feeling it'll be perfect for yours too. So thank you very much for being here. We're going to put this right here so you can always remember why you're here. Okay, let's get right into it. I am going to follow the same format I did last time. What you need to know about this connection. Okay. I want to see you guys. I want to see your connection. So I'm putting down 3 oracle cards and kind of building down to just get a picture going. Okay. Sorry, let's center things already. Okay. So I love this oracle card. I don't see it come up that much. The distraction of shiny things, cozy up with risk, the spark and hustle, the spark of hustle. Wow. These cards make me think already it's so different than the last reading. And I love that. It's like, there's an energy between you guys. There's an excitement. It makes me think that you guys have, whether or not you're younger, you have that young energy, that fear of missing out, that, you just want to be a part of everything. You want to get your hands on everything. The hustle, I think you guys are both probably just excited and growing things. And I think even the cozy up with risk, I love, because I know those kind of relationships where you're like, fuck it, we're just doing it. We're going in. It doesn't make sense. No one thinks we should be together. No one gets it. And here we are, we're all in. So yes, I really like you guys. I think you're a lot of fun. But we need to know we're here to learn what we need to know about this connection. So again, this could take a while. Okay. So Mother of Swords and 2 of Swords. It is funny when the same suit gets laid out. These are 2 thinking cards. These are 2 air cards. These are 2 cards that actually, even though up here I see this kind of like crazy energy and excitement, both of you guys seem to be thinkers. I don't think you're here by accident. I think you guys actually talk about your relationship and your dynamic quite a bit. If there is this fear of this distraction of shiny things or fear of missing out, I don't think I think both of you feels this way and talks about it. I think you guys are very open, very communicative. And I also think that both of you probably struggle with commitment a little bit. However, I think you're open about this. I can see you guys having conversations like, I don't know, like, yes, I went out with some friends and I met this person and they were really interesting, and no, I didn't hook up with them, but like I could have, whereas most people probably wouldn't even tell their partner that much. I feel like you guys have these kinds of conversations. You're very open and communicative and just positive. You remind me of 2 like very kind of like advanced millennials or something. And it could even border on over communication, but you know what? That's fine. That's perfectly fine, because I don't even know if that's really a thing. So Mother of Swords, it's like there's astute is a word you could give to this card. And if I'm looking at your dynamic and each of you actually from like a personal standpoint, I do think you guys are both very business minded, and I think you're treating your dynamic that way. Like, you don't want to make little fuck ups that are going to create bigger problems down the road. I think you're like analyzing your relationship the way you would a business. And I think both of you guys are probably independently employed or working towards doing something independent on your own. Or you're just quite successful in what you are doing. But I definitely get this kind of entrepreneurial spirit between you 2. And I just think that your relationship is very much getting approached in the same way, which I think is great. There are choices for you guys in this relationship. I think, like I said, I get the feeling that being faithful or being committed, it can be a challenge, because I can see that both of you have options. Just down to the life you live presents these options, and just the dynamic individuals that you are also presents options. So I do think that there can be aspects of your relationship that others might not be able to handle, but you guys seem to have a pretty good grasp on things. Let me get a little bit more about you guys, because you seem very, very in tune with one another, and it seems like things are pretty solid. Like, so much so that right now I don't know why you're here. Let's find out a little bit why you're here and what we need to know about this connection. So, excuse me. Son of Cups, Father of Pentacles, the Hanged Man. Okay, so taking this down to another layer, yes, I do see you guys enjoying this commitment. I think you are committing to one another. I think there is a sincerity between you two. I think there is this like almost very like romantic aspect, even though you may talk about all the other people you could be sleeping with in 1 second, and then the next you could be talking about like marriage. It's just, other people might not get the romance there, but I think for you guys it is very, very romantic. I think you have a very committed thread that actually does run through your relationship. And I do think that you guys want, I think it's fun for you to envision this dynamic going somewhere pretty serious. That's what I'm getting out of the Father of Pentacles, that this really could be a very secure partnership. And you might define it different than other people define relationships. I'm not sure. It might wind up being very conventional for you guys, or very classic, or you might find a way of making it work. I don't know. That's not even important. But I'm just saying, I do see a real committed, like, boundary set dynamic coming up for you guys. And I think this is a good thing in that I think you guys both want this. I think it's the direction you're headed. You might not be there yet, but I think if you guys wanted to like live together, I don't know, like do a little bit more sharing of everything, that I could see it going down that path. And the Hanged Man, I really like this card. I really don't see it come up that often, which tells me that it just isn't relevant to a lot of people's situations. But it's like, it's it could be a card of suspension. It could be a card of martyrism, or being a martyr. For you guys, I think you guys both think you're kind of not sacrificing something and being together, but I think you both recognize that you could be doing other things, right? That this relationship is a choice you guys are making. You're choosing to be in it. I don't think one of you is holding the other down. I don't think one of you is, like strong-arming the other or giving them ultimatums. I think it's a very beautiful, like you guys are you're almost suspended. And these two cards, they're not opposites, but how I see it is like, you are suspended right now. You aren't taking next steps. You're slowly building something, and you're definitely getting to know each other and creating this kind of like really beautiful foundation, but you're still in this phase where you recognize that you could have a lot of options on the table, and yet you're choosing to be with this person. And I think that feels good. And you aren't rushing into things, because I think, if you did rush into things, you might regret it. You might look back at all the things that could have been if you didn't rush into this. So yeah, you're just kind of, you're both chilling right now. You're both allowing yourself a moment to be like, what is this? What do we really want? Where is this going? But I do think the romance is there between you guys. I think the love is there. I think the true sincerity to get to know one another, to like nurture and care about each other, I really think it's there. And in a very just simplistically sincere way. I don't think it's a show that you would put on for other people. I don't think it's because that's where someone else or others think this relationship should go. I think it's you two talking one-on-one, and determining that this really could go somewhere. And then it would go into this more kind of traditional relationship. Again, not the relationship of your parents, not that, but just a little more refined than where you guys are at right now. Because I think part of your beauty right now is it lacks refinement. Part of it is chaotic and it works, but you'd have to kind of harness that chaos a little bit. And right now, well, I think it's controlled chaos for you guys, but I just think that you would have to release a little bit of that and put some, a little more boundaries on things. And I see that. I see you guys headed this way. I really do. And I also see work and life being a big part of your guys' dynamic, which I like, because if you did go down this more take on this more committed tone, it doesn't mean that you would, lose your friends or your identity. I don't think that would happen at all. And I think it's very important for you guys that it doesn't. So yeah, we're going to ask Spirit what we need to know about this connection. And I don't know, I wouldn't mind finding out why you're here. I want to know why you're here. Okay, so what's your honest truth? And you are epic. Okay, so if I ask why you're here, I got what's your honest truth and you are epic. I would say that you probably are a little bit afraid. We've already established that both of you, maybe you more than the other, but both of you do have a fear of commitment, because I do think there's a lot of other things you could be doing. There's a lot of other fun you could be having, a lot of other people you could, be getting to know, whatever. And you are epic. You clearly, this card came up to remind you that the options are out there for you. You aren't in so deep that you couldn't end this pretty quickly. And you can always end any relationship, obviously, but sometimes you find yourself, tying ties that it takes a little longer to untie. But I don't think you're there yet. If you wanted to dissolve this, you could pretty quickly. And I guess this is just really for you to figure out what's your truth. And it's not for me to say, but you do have to sit with this and decide if you think this person truly brings out the best in you, because you are really wonderful. There's a chance this person brings out a better side in themselves and not the best side in you. Although I don't really see that, but there could be a small part of that playing out, because that's what I get with the you are epic. Like maybe you're not shining quite as bright as you could in this relationship. Maybe if you were single right now, you could establish a little bit more for yourself. There's a chance of that. But I think you really just have to figure out, do you want this? Do you want the next level of commitment? And I think that really is what you need to know about your connection. I do think this relationship is going to head pretty quickly to that conversation where this older dynamic won't be able to work much longer. You'll have to take a more refined, and by refined, I don't mean like sophisticated. I mean like condensed. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes trying to think of the word, but like concentrated way of doing things. I think you know what I mean. I'm just doing a horrible job explaining it. So you need to know that this could go somewhere, and you need to know how you feel about this. Okay, so I'm going to just ask again, what do you need to know? What you need to know about this connection? And I'm going to put 2 more cards down here. Okay, Strength and Father of Cups. So, the Father of Cups, and we had the Sum of Cups, another really beautiful card. Definitely a card of like, if you were to find yourself in a more serious looking relationship with this person, I really do think it would be a very emotionally beautiful connection. I think that you would see yourself like opening up and growing in ways that you probably didn't imagine, in ways that probably scare you right now, especially because it would make you feel like you need to be with this person maybe longer than you ever imagined being with this person. Like when you met, you probably didn't think, oh my goodness, I could marry this person. We could be together for years. We could buy a home together. Like you maybe didn't think that. You might have just thought, oh, this person's super hot and we have a blast together and they're nice. And now it's just going down this very heavy, potentially heavy or deep connection. But I really do think it would be something beautiful. And yeah, I just think emotionally you would get more out of it than you ever could imagine, which is a very lovely thing. Yeah, and I actually kind of think that your partner would change a little bit as well. I think you would see a sweeter, softer side of them, which would come, I believe, with them having more confidence, more security. They'd have less to prove to everyone, including you and themselves. I just think they would kind of take on a more water type personality, whereas now they're probably a lot more fire, a little earth, but I think they would just find themselves being a little more fluid, softer, yeah, just more romantic, but that's a really broad scope. But yeah, they'd go from the Son of Cups, which I think you're seeing a little bit of now, to the Father of Cups. And I just, strength, I see you as strength here, which, yeah, I see that this would be like the path of your partner, and then this would be you. And the strength card is like it's confident. It's like this, excuse me, oh my God. It's like this self-control, this courageous self-control. Whereas you might be the one that suffers a little bit more with the commitment issue. Your partner might like you just a hair more than you like them, which there's nothing wrong with that. And this can always shift, but I think that you would find yourself in this really cool position of just being this very kind of like evolved, secure, strong, loving person, like the leader of the pack, kind of like this would, it would be your domain. This relationship you would kind of be able to shape it and control it the way you wanted, but it would still be very, very positive and very beautiful. But I guess what I'm saying is I don't think you would lose yourself at all if you did get into this kind of a commitment. I really think you would grow into your own here and you would shine. And the You Are Epic with this card, they really go together for me. And I could see you really stepping into this You Are Epic energy here and being like this strong Leo type personality. And I think that's really just what you need to know about this connection, that it is in a very exciting, unsustainable space right now, but it's a great beginning start to any relationship. Not all relationships start this way. So when they do, it's really special. And I think these are the relationships that have the starts that really go the distance, but they have to change. You can't maintain this. So I think you're just at a point right now where your connection's going to go through kind of like an iteration and like level up basically. And you're on the brink of that, and you just have to decide if that's something you really want. And so, yeah, I just think you need to know that you're right there. Next steps with this person who would absolutely commit to you and show you even more of themselves, if that's what you want to see. You have to want to see that though, because I think they really will open up. They'll really show you this kind of much more romantic, intense, loving side that I think you would have to want to see. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was good. And then it talked to you and you picked the right card. Unakite. Anyway, let me know. Please leave a comment or subscribe, like any of those things, all of them, whatever feels good. Okay, thank you so much. Goodbye. So this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. You are letting me read for you, and we are doing a reading for what you need to know about this connection. I'll just tell you first, you're here because you picked turquoise, which is probably, I don't know if this is the one I would have picked. They are all so beautiful. Oh my gosh, hold on here. This says prioritize your health, but really we're here for the picture. This brought you to this pile, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So this is your pile, and we're going to put this over here. I wish I had a piece of turquoise that big and that beautiful. Okay, let's get into it. What you need to know about this connection. And the last couple readings I just gave this morning, it takes a while to get to know what you need to know about this connection. We will get there, but bear with me. It's a process. This one, Some I can like get right away. Okay. The spark of hustle, you are living poetry, and you are light. So these cards kind of go together. It's about you, just, just how great you are. You have probably a certain energy, a certain radiance to you. You vibrate at a certain frequency, your aura, whatever. Like, this is definitely about how great you are. And then the spark of the hustle, either you or your partner definitely is on one to achieve something, right? And maybe it's both of you, but there would definitely be this energy is brought into your relationship. There's an urgency to achieve something. Yeah, and I mean, it makes me think of work, but it could be achieve something within the relationship. But in general, I feel like there's a sense of urgency somewhere. Okay, let's get a little bit about your guys' dynamic. So we've got Son of Swords and Six of Swords. I always want to say Wands, but this is definitely Six of Swords. So the Son of Swords cards is funny. It's a hasty card, right? It's someone that comes in hot and hasty. It's someone who drives me crazy. They are probably very charismatic. They're probably charming. They're probably irritating. They are always on the move, always wanting to be doing something else. Again, very probably attractive and charismatic, with a little bit of charm, but not a sustainable vibe for a relationship. And whenever I see this or the Son of Wands, it's always this like, oh my God, this person needs to just quit this. They need to become something else quickly because it's too much. I don't know that anyone can actually marry a Son of Wands and like stay married longer than 2 months, because it would or Son of Wands or Swords, they would have to mature out of this. So I would say that there's something about your relationship to make me think that it is in a somewhat beginning phase, or it just hasn't evolved to like that more mature dynamic. Maybe your partner's just a mess. I don't know. I couldn't say, but there's something to make me think that it's less than perfect right now. And then this is change. I don't know that it's moving on, but it's like, it's a transitional phase. There is a light at the end of the tunnel here. We've got a rainbow. It makes you think like you could be moving on to something better. But I think there's a transition. And this card also, there's a haste to it. This is a card of like quickly moving. It's less thought, more action. It's just, it's almost like this doing very much what serves you, and you might think you're doing the right thing, but you're really only doing what you want to be doing. It's just a selfishness or just a heatiness to this card. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more because right now we don't know anything. But if I had to just take away really quickly, I would say you're probably like the angel in this dynamic. You're sweet. You are giving this person way more than they deserve. I think this person is probably very into whatever it is they're doing. I think they're a little bit selfish. They're all about themselves right now. And you are probably kind of sticking around at this point. And you're probably thinking about how you'd be happier if you weren't in this relationship. This is what I'm getting out of this, which is probably the direction this reading will go. But yeah, just so you know, that is what I'm seeing just at this base line here. Okay, what do we need to know about your connection? Sorry, it's not a great card. Okay. The 10 of God, why am I looking at this for the first time and thinking, are these wands or swords? They have to be wands. I wish I had the 10 of swords. Oh, I know what the 10 of swords. Okay, these are wands, obviously. It's not obvious actually at all. That's the problem, because these are swords and they look exactly like this. But these are wands. The 10 of wands card is a card of burden. There's a weight. There's this, like, you've worked really hard. You've been doing a lot. You've been putting a lot into something, and you're not really reaping the reward out of it. It's not to say you never will, but it just kind of further backs up what I just said, where I think you are giving a lot more than you're getting back. You are the patient one. You're the one that's putting the work in. You're the one that's you're the glue that's keeping things together right now. That's what I'm getting. And I do think it's starting to wear you down. Like I said, I think you are starting to think, oh my gosh, if I was in another relationship or not in this one, I might be happier. It might be a better move for me. And I'm seeing okay. I first thought the Fool card was you, and I'm going to stick with that because I think in general, you are a lot more lighthearted and a lot more foolhardy in a good way than you're being right now. This relationship is kind of forcing you to be like over analytical. Because I think your person is so laser focused and just like one dimensional right now about probably what they're working on, what they're doing, this money they need to make, this business they need to start, whatever it is. I just think it's all about them. And you are finding yourself in this persona that I just don't think suits you that much. And I actually think that you are very much a Fool energy, which is someone who's just fresh and kind of careless and kind of like exciting and adventurous, and you aren't that person right now. And I actually think this drives you crazy. And if you really are the Fool, and I have a lot of this energy in me, and I cannot be the Fool for periods of time, maybe even 6 months, but I will always do a 180 and have to go back to being this energy. I can't be this like serious person for so long. It eats away at me, and then I like literally go crazy. And I think you're there. And this might be part of like this haste to, it's like you've got to do something. And you might be more of the Mother of Pentacles right now, which isn't a bad card at all. This is a beautiful card. And I think if you were happier in this dynamic, you would love to be the Mother of Pentacles. But it's almost like you are, you're probably doing a little more like nurturing than you want to. And, I read a while back that the Mother of Pentacles converge on being codependent. And I do give this card the codependency term quite a bit. And I feel like you could be falling into a little codependency because if you stay in this, you're gripping so hard to something, you want something so bad that you're putting everything you've got into it right now. You're not being yourself. You're ignoring like things that are kind of stressing you out, wearing you out. It does feel burdensome. And I think that can turn into this codependency, which would mean you would almost be like living vicariously through your partner, even though they aren't really sharing enough with you or giving you enough to make it worth your while. So far, I'm sorry, I haven't found a lot of great things about your dynamic. And it could be off base, or it could be not near as like horrible as I'm making it sound, but so far that's the message, that you really are special, you're wonderful, and you're not yourself right now at all. And it's just wearing you down. And yeah, I just feel like you'd almost be this kind of, not caretaker in the sense that this person needs you to survive physically, but you'd be caring for you'd be looking after them, like always making sure they're eating well and that they're freaking, I don't know, airs in their tires or like whatever. Like you would just be looking, like you'd be their assistant almost, looking over details that really just, it's not you. I don't know if this is going to work. But what else do we need to know about your connection? Because I feel like I already know enough about your connection, but I try to at least let these things go 14 minutes to get a picture of it. Okay, let's get two more oracle cards, and we'll do a couple tarots, and I think that's going to give us everything we need to know. Okay, let's just put all these things down here. So Changemaker makes waves, Creator Earth. Let's see what this means when we put these guys down. I always have a way of running out of room here. Okay. So starting with your oracles, I actually think if you really do love, like, let's say you love this person. Let's say you're in love with this person and it fucking sucks. You wish you could leave the relationship. You can't. Something's got to change. This change maker makes waves, makes me think, then this would be your time to just speak the F up about it, to really, give ultimatums, put it all on the table, everything they say you shouldn't do in a relationship. Like, this would be your time to be like, I'll be all in, but it literally has to change. It has to look like this. You have to change. This has to end, whatever. I think that could really change things. And then the Creator Earth is, you need to get back in touch. You need to get in touch with yourself. I don't know if you're an earth sign. If you are, then that would track even more. But it just makes me think and it's funny because this is heavy earth here. But I don't know, Creator Earth, I don't know, figure out your place. I think this is it. Find your place, find your home. What do you want to call home? Where do you want your place to be? And then go for that. But really find your place. Where do you even right now think you want to set roots? And that's metaphysically or literally or whatever. Do you want to set roots in this relationship? Do you want to set roots in the town you're in? Where do you want to be? Figure that out. And then, you can be pretty aggressive about making the changes. As far as the cards we put down, I'm going to start with the Tower and say, you can let this crash and burn. I don't even know if your partner would notice, to be honest. You can let this all just go to hell, because I really don't know that this is the right relationship for you. However, I think this is just here to let you know it's always an option. You do not have to stay in this. And an option meaning you will be happy if you let this go. I don't think this, and it's here, this is the card of transition. Would you be happier if you weren't in this relationship? Is it too burdensome? This is, to me, a card saying if you let this go, you're fine. You can go back to being the fool. You are light. You're living poetry. You no longer have to cater to your partner's hustle. Trust me, you would be fine. If you do stay in it, I'm thinking the Mother of Swords is really the energy you're going to have to take on. And this is a very keen, astute, focused, laser focused kind of persona. And it is not the Fool. So you would really have to kind of change a little bit about your own dynamic. And we have the Son of Swords and now we have the Mother of Swords. It's literally the card that comes after it. It's, and this is the maturing, although we were talking about your partner here, but regardless, I do think you would have to take on a bit of this energy to really make this relationship work. And quite frankly, so would your partner. I think both of you would probably have to take on a little more of this, but I really got you out of this. And I got that you'd have to drop some of the Fool's carelessness, whimsicalness, silly-nilliness, and just be a little bit more like a wise old owl that doesn't fuck around. So if that sounds fun, yes, then definitely stay. And then for your Five of Wands here, this is conflict. So there would definitely be conflict. I think this would be a process. I think you would make the waves with the change. It would create some conflict. It would really result in you putting your foot down, laying the groundwork. It would take on a new shape. I do think your relationship and your dynamic, I honestly think it could take on a new shape. I really do think your partner probably likes you and cares about you more than we realize. I hope they love you. I've gotten nothing out of your partner in this whole thing. It's really all about you. Everything comes up. It's your story, who you are, what you're dealing with, the dynamic you're dealing with, but I haven't seen anything about your partner, which means they're either not imprinting on you at all or not, I don't mean not imprinting. I mean they're so totally, maybe they're not concerned about you at all. Maybe they really don't, even if they love you or care about you, maybe they really aren't doing anything. They're just not giving you anything you need. And you really are more alone in this relationship than you realize. I don't know, but I'm going to say what you need to know about this connection is that it definitely needs to change. That's what I see here. I want you to be happy. And if you're going to be happy, you have to change the dynamic of the relationship, or you have to like walk away and let it go. But in order to get where you want to go with this, it's got to change. That's my takeaway here. And okay, with this card of conflict, just to end on a somewhat positive note, I'm not getting anything to say if your dynamic changed, it wouldn't work. There's nothing here for me to be like, I hate your partner, he doesn't love you. That's not at all what I'm getting. I'm just not getting anything from him. So it could be that he isn't that into you, or it could be that he's crazy about you and loves you and is just so focused on himself right now, his energy isn't even coming into the reading. I really don't know which one it is, but I do know that he's never going to do a 180. He is the way that he is, and you are, if you're going to make this work, you are going to have to be the one. The onus to change is going to fall on you. Let's put it that way. That will become your burden, and it might not be a horrible thing. And so with the conflict card, this isn't like crazy hellacial arguments, and like this just tells me there'll be a little bit of conflict if you do this, meaning it might not be that bad. It might actually be a smoother transition to start bringing about these changes than you realized or you anticipated. It would be a lot easier than the frickin' 10 of Wands, which is a horrible burden you're dealing with now. It would be half of that. It would still be something, but it would feel a lot better. So you either change something or you leave. That's what you need to know about your connection. And this is, very likely going to have to come from you, because I just don't see your partner at all. I don't see them doing anything right now that doesn't directly serve them. Yeah. Okay, so I wish I had more to tell you or nicer things to say, but I think the message is clear, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. If you have anything to say about it or feelings one way or the other, please let me know. It would fascinate me, and always love the feedback. But thank you very much for listening, and like, comment, subscribe, whatever you fancy. So thank you very much. Goodbye. And welcome to Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Just thank you so much for being here. We are doing a reading for what you need to know about this connection. Very, very interesting readings came before you, so we will see where this one leads. And this is pile 4. I just want a dress made out of this. I don't know, something about this is so beautiful to me. Tourmalinated quartz. I have no idea what that means, but the picture is lovely. You can only imagine what the real stone would look like, I guess. And this is Get Out of Your Own Way. That's the title, but I always forget about the titles, and I never mention them again. So really, you're just here because this is the picture that grabbed your attention and brought you to this reading. So let's go with that, okay? I don't know what it is about that picture. So maybe I need to get out of oh my gosh, excuse me one second. The smoke from this candle, it's pretty intense. I don't know why, but I feel like it's in my lungs. Okay. Let's get started. So we're just going to just put on some cards and see what comes up, what you need to know about this connection. Let's get into it. Cozy Up with Risk. I actually love that card. Inflow with Money. Great. And Unstick the Stack. Okay. Just looking at these cards, I like the inflow with money. It makes me think that one or both of you guys are definitely working hard. You're probably career people. You're focused on your career. It's either what attracted you to each other, but it's like a known that if you're going to be with each other, that you just have to accept that. And I think that's great. Unstick the Stack. Maybe you guys have been either so focused on career that you kind of were in a pattern of putting career before love, romance, relationships, and now you're finally kind of undoing that. And maybe it does feel like a risk, but without the emphasis on career, I think for whatever reason you're you are opening up in a relationship, maybe more than you have in a long time. You're exploring the idea of being more committed, more serious, advancing steps in a relationship. But I do see an element of money's coming in. Maybe now you have the time to enjoy a commitment or this relationship a little bit more. Okay, so unstick the stack, cozy up with risk, inflow with money. And I just read those like you aren't in a relationship, but no, I think you probably are, and you have a connection and what you need to know about it. So, okay. So, Five of Pentacles, Strength, and the Hierophant. Great, 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 great. I definitely get a tone, and it's funny because I know I talked about like career and all that, but I think you guys are both very focused people, right? I do think a lot of your talks are about, if you saved money, what would you do with it? Where would your savings go? What do you want to spend money on? I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I'm still trying to get a feeling for you guys here. Okay, I'll just start describing things and we'll figure out what we need to know about this connection. Because it's not coming to me as clearly as it should, but trust me, it will. When this happens, I usually come to like very hard and concise answers. So really, bear with me. We will absolutely get there. Okay, Five of Pentacles, just walking through things a little bit. This is a card of lack, right? This is a card, you could even call it poverty. This would be the card of not having money, resources, tangibles. Definitely a card of lack, of drought, and almost like the suffering that ensues because of that. And it's interesting that card comes up, and it comes up between cozy up with risk and inflow with money. So, okay, I'll address what I think all these mean. Strength, and I go through this really for my benefit to get a big picture. I do think that there has been this, like, I'm going to say one or both of you have had to kind of remain courageous, right? I think you guys kind of fell on hard times. And again, I don't know if you did this together or you have a very similar story. Maybe it could be like divorce that wiped you out, or I don't know, bad investments and just a career path that went nowhere, school that didn't pan out the way you thought it would. I don't know. I just think there has been some financial loss. And yet you've remained pretty strong. You've worked hard mentally to not let it get to you. And I actually think now you're at a point where money is starting to come in. Things are unsticking. You are slowly coming free of this situation. And I really think there's like this very positive outcome that it's coming, but wow, you really did go through something. And then the Hierophant this is like, there's a rigidity to this card. There's this kind of group identity. It's almost like a religion, like you subscribe to something. There's this like belief system. And I mean, I can't get too specific and be like, you were in a pyramid scheme, it wiped out your money. Like, I can't do that. This has to be broader, but it makes me think that there was something that you put a lot of energy into, a lot of belief, a lot of time, a lot of hope, and it just didn't work out. And again, this could be school. This could be, I don't know, maybe you started a novel and you spent the last 2 years writing that and it just isn't going anywhere. I mean, I have an example of giving resources and energy and time to something, and maybe at the time I didn't realize how much it was taking for me, but looking back, I'm like, oh, if I put that much energy towards something else, gosh, I'd really have a lot more right now. Like, just, it can be that light or it can be as heavy as I gave all my investment to this. But throughout it all, you've definitely been strong. I think you're probably very smart. You don't seem like someone who lets anything get the better of you. And if we're talking about this as a dynamic as a whole, I think you've been through this. Your partner, the person you're reading about, they've seen this. They've been through this with you. This is something both of you have experienced. And the unstick the stock is you guys are now coming into like I don't know, like there is that light at the end of the tunnel. You're starting to see the light. And both of these cards kind of give you that oh my gosh, I can't say the word that one more time. There's an appearance of light, right? Goodness. And cozy up at the risk. Now that I look at it, this is probably, you're entering a new phase. It's just as risky as the old one. It's still an unknown. Like whether it's the new job, the complete backing off of the old investment, whatever it is, it's something brand new that you now have to navigate and deal with. But I think it's wherever you're headed, it's better than where you were, because I definitely see that there was some loss wherever you came from. And I am getting it from more of like a monetary standpoint. Or, just like a dry spell financially where nothing worked out, like nothing, deals wouldn't close, people wouldn't call back, accounts wouldn't like progress. Okay. So I'm going to get another Oracle card and then I'm going to work around that. So Creator Earth, which could very much be, it is that Pentacles energy. Pentacles are Earth, and there you can put a lot of like financial growth into this. It's like finding your space, finding where you want to set those roots, what your home looks like now. Okay, so we've got the Fool and the Hanged Man around this. And I'm sorry, because this reading, it's not really, I feel like it's not even that, it's a good reading, but it's not that exciting. Because the question is, what you need to know about your connection. And what I'm getting out of it is that you guys have been through a lot and it's just still not exciting. I feel like what you need to know about your connection is that you're not out of this kind of stagnant, almost ick phase of like, oh my God, are we just out of this? And I feel like, no, you're not. You're still very much in this. You're just unsticking your stock. You have a lot to figure out right now. And as a couple, as a dynamic, I think things are still, I don't want to say miles away from being fun and exciting, but I don't think you've transitioned into that phase yet. I just think you guys have been through something. As a couple, you've experienced some, I think, financial hardships, and it's definitely taken a toll on things. And we'll see. But the Fool gives me hope that there's a little bit of like a potential here for silliness, a potential for fun. This could be a little bit of a hopeful card where you guys are going to get to come into a little more of a light-hearted energy. But then I see the Hangman, which reminds me still like, no, you guys are sticking it out. Like you are still very much riding this. You're in it. And you can call this, you can give this card like a martyr, someone who takes one for the team. Maybe one or both of you feel like you're doing that. Maybe you're sacrificing things to be in this dynamic together. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's really no fun here. Although I did say up here, I think things are coming in, and I do. I think, positively speaking, there's good on the horizon. I just don't see it happening yet. Like it still could take a few months or a few weeks or whatever. But that would be nothing compared to what you guys have been through. So what you need to know about this connection, I'll say this, I think you guys have this from a couple standpoint. You just need to ride it out a little bit more. I'll take this card because it came out. You need to ride this out a little bit more. And oh my God, I don't know. What a weird reading. Inflow with money. Okay. Father of Wands and Six of Pentacles. Okay, so I will say, I really think you guys really do love and protect one another. I think that I actually think there's a lot of love between you guys. And I think you very much care for one another. And I think you have been very good about, we're going to get a little more positive here. I think you've been very good about like seeing and tending to each other's needs throughout this time. And that can be like something as little as like, oh, you've been, taking each other out to little dinners or doing the littlest notions that really bring a lot of happiness and joy and make you think of when times were just a little bit better. But I think you are really approaching this relationship like you don't want it to dissolve. You really want you guys have a vision for this relationship. You really want it to go the distance, and you've been in it. You've been through too much to turn around now. So you are, and that tracks with this hangman too. Like, you're just sticking it out. You're just waiting it out for it to get better because you really do know it well. And yeah, and then the Six of Pentacles is a very sweet, giving, charitable. There's kind of, I feel like there's this love and this true care behind it, this intention that is very good. Excuse me. And I do think that this is just your guys' energy towards one another. And I think the money is coming. I see this under inflow with money. This investment you make in each other, it's not for nothing. Things are going to get better. You will ride through this little slump together. Absolutely, 100%. Things are getting better. And I think with Unstick the Stuck, what do we need to know about this connection? Let's get a little bit more. These are very, very positive cards, okay? So we've got, this is building things together. This is literally like laying groundwork, starting foundations, working together, building. Very beautiful card. It is a Pentacles card. So is this, Ace of Pentacles. This is my like official light at the end of the tunnel card. It's new starts, new beginnings, potential growth, money coming in, just that hope that you get knowing that like all your hard work's about to pay off. It is that there's prosperity behind this card. There's this sense of like, it's sheer potential, but with a monetary twist, right? It's not, and I think you guys already, you love each other. I don't see your relationship at stake here. And so what you need to know about this connection, I think you guys have been through something. I think it's been very real, very challenging. I think you guys have a very beautiful connection. Like fiercely, you guys are sticking. Like you are, you're in it. You're very much ride or die with one another. And if you are afraid that all this chaos isn't going to result in you guys staying together or getting stronger, I think you're wrong. I think it absolutely will. So that is the hard message I'm getting here. But again, there's so much weight on the table. There just isn't, there are hopeful cards here. I can read the hopeful message, but there's just an overwhelming like, oh God, what a lot to deal with. I'm going to put down 2 oracle cards because we're just going to get some messages from Spirit here. Feed your artist, which is fun, and changes. So feed your artist is, whatever creativity means to you, whatever feeds your passion, this could just be feed your passion. It's finding that creative spark and really running with it. And this could be for your own sanity, peace of mind. It could be something that is a part of your work. But I just feel like continue feeding that creative hunger within you because it really, it's a very good thing. And then I see changes, and I like seeing changes between the Strength and the Fool because these are very positive cards. These are strong cards. They're hopeful cards. The Fool, it has a funny name, which makes you think it's negative, but it's not. It's someone who takes off on adventures. It's someone who tries new things. It's someone who's confident and clueless at the same time. Just, it's a great, great energy. And it could have led you guys to the situation you're in right now, but we're not going to look at it like that. It is a great, fun, lighthearted energy that I definitely think you guys need more of right now. Excuse me. So yeah, maybe, but I love Strength too. I just think keep working between these 2 dynamics, keep finding the flow between Strength and the Fool. And I think you'll be in a good place. And to the same point, if you feed your artist, it's going to inspire you. I think it is going to make you more in flow with money. And this is such a heavy financial reading. I don't know why. I would love to hear a comment from just even one person about if this reading spoke to them or if they thought this was going to be about like love, and it absolutely was not. And for that, I'm very sorry. But I will say this, I'm getting nothing. I'm not getting any red flags from your guys' connection. There are no flags. You guys are doing great. You've been through a lot. I think you have a very solid, loving, honest dynamic. And I think there's hope, you guys. There's something good is in store for you. And I really think that's the whole point of this reading. So what you need to know about this connection is things will get better. You're growing things. You are starting new things together. And you're just, whatever the past was, you're going to leave it behind. And I don't see a past where it was like someone betrayed someone, or it's all about, it's all about your home, your possessions, your finances, your earth energy. And you're going to come into some new things. But yeah, feed your artist, just work with those changes, bring about the change, unstick the stuck. I would love to hear your comments. And if this reading was like, this is the only reading you've had from me and it totally doesn't track, please try another one, because this has been a very unique reading. I can say that it's been painfully specific. So I even acknowledge that. But yeah, I would love your comments, feedback, anything, and would love to have you just tune in for another reading at some point. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Goodbye.